Hold on to your butts.
My American.
I've been tracking Sasquatches for 25 years.
My American.
Global awakening to the New World Order.
My American.
Artificial intelligence android.
My American.
Do you believe in UFOs?
Yes, sir. Extraterrestrial.
You're listening to Pardon My American.
Yo. What's up, dude?
What's up, everybody?
Greg, it's nice to see your face, sir.
I know. It's been a while.
It's been a couple days too long. You know what I'm saying?
I know.
How was your birthday, sir?
It's good.
Yeah?
Just chill. Just kind of chilled at the house. Didn't really do much.
You're the first to turn the big 40, man. Congratulations.
I know.
Congratulations.
Yep. You're about a month away?
Less than a month, dude.
Less than a month.
Less than a month.
Boy.
Both be hitting that big old 40. I heard everything gets better in your 40s. That's what I heard.
Yeah, your dick grows a little. I think it's like an extra inch.
Well, does it grow or does it just hang lower? You know what I'm saying?
Well,
does it hang low and wobble to and fro?
Yeah.
Yeah. I could tie it in a knot and a bow.
I think your balls grow about an inch, though. You know what I'm saying? They hang about an inch lower in your 40s. That's what I hear, you know? I was watching this thing where I was talking to my wife the other day, and we were like, man, like this guy came on TikTok, and he was, actually was a celebrity. I can't remember who it was, but he's like 50 something. And they're like, how do you feel at 50? And he's like, better than I ever have. He's like, man, it's like from like 25 to 40 is like such a traumatic time of your life. Like you're trying to figure shit out. You're trying to have savings. You're buying homes. You have kids that are young usually.
Makes sense. And
he's like, you know, once you get to your 50s or late 40s, you know, you end up being healthier because you actually exercise more. Your kids are grown. You know what I mean? You have established jobs usually. You know, you're paying stuff down. And I'm like, yeah, man. I'm actually kind of looking forward to that. You know what I mean? A little bit. It's gonna be kind of nuts. Well, it sounds like crazy, but it's like, you know, I feel like
it makes sense, dude.
Yeah, my wife's dad was like, you guys aren't, you know, a lot of people just don't have money. You know, at 40, you're like 35, you're not just like rolling in dough.
Yeah.
He's like, but then you start to like save more and, you know, you're making more money at the jobs and doing your thing and it gets easier. So I'm looking forward to that easy. You know what I mean?
Right.
Now we can just get the interest rates down and the food costs down a little bit. That'd be beneficial.
Interest rates would be nice.
Interest rates would be, actually it just went down.
Did it?
Yeah, it just went down a little bit. We were talking about that. I don't remember what it was, but it did go down a little bit. So we're keeping our eye on it.
That's good. I got some moves I need to make, so that needs to come down a little more.
I get you.
You know what I'm saying?
So
got some wheeling and dealing to do.
Oh, okay. Some side project, you know, some little money cash flow. Betting? We talked about betting. You know, you gonna start betting?
No, I'm not gonna gamble.
Okay, all right.
That would be insane.
You don't gamble, Greg, right?
No, dude. Yeah, I mean, so. I would like to, but there's something weird. There's something weird whenever I gamble. I just always lose. Even if it's like a off the whim, like 50-50 split. And I go, I bet you that white horse wins over the brown one.
Yeah.
Nope.
Never
happens.
You know, I'm not that lucky. There's been times like certain games I feel like I can do okay at, you know, but we talked about that on the Patreon show, if I'm not mistaken. We talked about gambling a little bit.
Yeah.
If you guys haven't joined, go join Patreon. You know what I'm saying? It's fun. We had some good conversation. You missed it, unfortunately, but we had the Zoom. Was it Zoom?
Yep.
Yeah, it was Zoom. Okay, that's right.
On Friday?
On Friday. It was fun. Had some fun conversations. So get on there, and every Friday we do that. So check that out. What's the news, Greg? What's the big stuff that's catching your attention? Anything?
Well, I just opened up Daily Mail, and I'm looking at this Infowars reporter who was murdered in Austin, Texas.
Yeah, he was gunned down right outside his house.
Alex Jones is blaming Soros-backed DA. You have a DA, Travis County District Attorney Jose Garza.
Why is it? What's the blame exactly? What's he saying? I didn't catch that part of anything. What's he saying about the DA?
I don't know. I saved a video. It's like a 9-minute freaking video, but that's like the news talking. This is saying Jones ranted, I lay all of this squarely at the feet of Soros and of the sort of crime syndicate of the Democratic Party. They're the ones who administratively cut the police, persecuted the police, and even cases of 100% clear to be lawful legal activities or something. So he's just saying like they cut the police and that's why he's blaming them. You created the climate and the conditions that caused the murder, I guess.
Yeah, I'm curious how that's. I mean, I feel like obviously Infowars came out with a lot of shit over the years. You know what I'm saying? But I don't really know this guy, to be honest with you. Just off the top of my head, I saw a quick picture on X before we jumped on here, and I'm like, I don't recognize him. But
yeah, I bookmarked the article that I'm looking at here, Chris. So if you pull open the article, you can kind of see. Who
I've seen
he
the
looks
guy.
like.
I've seen the guy before.
I want to take a look at his face. Alex Jones looks good, man. I gotta give him props. The guy's looking healthy.
Yeah, he's lost a lot of weight.
Yeah. Yeah. He kind of.
That guy. I've
Kind
seen him before. Not like I've
Scroll
seen
down,
him
you can
before,
see another. Like there you go.
Oh,
That-
interesting.
With his
Oh.
glasses.
He looks very different.
but- Yeah,
Right.
that looks like a completely different person, dude.
Friggin' liberal. No, I'm joking. Yeah, he kind of looks like that. Like, hey there, guys. No, I don't know him. I don't.
Oh wait,
know.
never mind. That's the Travis County District.
Oh,
this
this
is
so he was
him.
liberal, dude. I knew it. I
This is
fucking
him
knew.
right here.
See, I always say like you can just spot him. You know what I mean? Like it's. I was like, that's weird. He's kind of liberal looking. Yeah, no, I don't.
so-
I don't recognize.
Like
I don't
what,
know.
So Chris, I bookmarked another. There's like a video in the other tweet that I bookmarked. It's like a 9-minute video. We don't have to play the whole thing, but it talks about the homicide. If you play like the first couple minutes of it, maybe.
Okay.
Good morning.
Police really releasing few details about what happened overnight, but this is what we do know right now. Police say they actually found the victim here in the parking lot of this apartment complex. EMS ended up taking that man to the hospital where he later died. Right now, police will not say exactly if he was shot or stabbed, only saying that he had obvious trauma. Homicide detectives still on scene, as I mentioned this morning, collecting evidence. We've seen also a lot of activity in a second floor apartment where they've been taking evidence bags out. Right now, police say they do not have any information about a suspect, and they're asking if you know something about that to contact them. You can also remain anonymous using Crime Stoppers.
The afternoon of Monday, March 10th, 2025.
Okay,
I've come to the Infowars.
God, man, why he never went to WWF?
Monday and March.
Let me tell you, brother.
So he's saying
Yeah,
that
he has a smoker's voice for not being a smoker. I mean, that's pretty damn close.
does he not smoke cigars?
Oh, yeah.
No,
maybe
he
cigars.
does do cigars.
I thought he
yeah.
smoked a lot of cigars, man. I
Okay.
might give it. So he's
But
saying
aren't
that
you not supposed to inhale cigars at all, though?
Yeah, you probably do. A little bit.
Some do.
I've never smoked a cigar.
So what he's saying though is that he thinks because the DA lets out criminals constantly that this is the reason, not that it's he has some insight or got somebody involved or something like that. Like because I think a targeted attack, that sounds like somebody wanted him to die.
Yeah.
Right.
But it sounds like he's just saying the DA lets everybody out, which is true with a lot of liberal cities, right? So which one is it? You know?
It would be interesting to find out if this was targeted or if it was just like something that happened on the street. You know what I mean? Like if he was just caught in something, or if they actually was waiting at his house for him.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean,
it looked like an apartment complex, right? I mean, that definitely looked like an apartment complex. So
yeah,
obviously
you have to wonder, like, what's the motive?
Well, that's
Like,
what I mean. You'd know the motive if you found out that it was a targeted event, or if he got caught in crossfire, or if he was just wrong place, wrong time,
Right.
or whatever.
yeah.
But like, doesn't it seem weird to blame it all on like you're letting out all these illegal or whatever? Like, it seems very targeted to me. Like,
Well, I don't know.
if it's an apartment complex, like you got to know the room.
Well, I
Right?
mean, that doesn't need to be targeted per se. My thing was with the apartment complex, there's lots of people in the complex of all different backgrounds. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And
Yeah,
so was there
that's-
just a shady ass person in the complex, saw an opportunity? Like, did he come out of his house?
Was there an argument?
Was there an
anything, you know?
argument?
Yeah.
I mean, it could have been over a fucking parking spot, dude. I just don't know if it's like a targeted thing. I mean, I think we'll find that out, but I would think it's pretty easy to say that like some of these cities that have DAs like this obviously let criminals go easily, and
Wait,
so
this
people.
says it was outside of a home. Jamie White. I don't know if he
Well,
lived in an apartment.
I mean,
Here, I'm gonna look
that
this
would be
up.
his home. I mean, technically, right? If he purchased it or. mean, you can call like my home is an apartment.
Yeah, it's still your home.
Yeah, it's still home.
Let's see.
But why wouldn't they say outside of his apartment though? Like instead of outside of his house? Or did they say outside of his home? Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what to make of this yet. Whether or is someone taking a hit at Infowars, or was it just like I said,
right.
The top comment, take it for what it is, right? Chris something or other. My friend told me that he was stuck at a homicide investigation last night for 7 hours. He had no idea the victim was an Infowars reporter. He showed me his body cam of him giving CPR to Jamie with a gunshot to the head.
Ooh.
That Jamie was trying to stop a car thief in the parking lot.
Oh. Okay.
So, I mean, listen, I don't know that that's true
a little bit
at all.
more.
But,
I mean, yeah.
If you were, you know what I'm saying, that would make sense of why maybe it went kind of haywire.
Yeah.
I mean, that would be something. But I think, obviously, Alex Jones is, Alex Jones. Like, he's going to dig up and he's going to make, he has contacts, I'm sure. And he's going to probably find out and talk about what is going on with it more over the next couple days. But it's sad, man. I mean, listen, if he was really trying to, stop a carjacking, then, I mean, that sucks that you lost your life over that.
Like, we don't really know.
No, it's probably not. It could be
too early to tell.
Could be something else.
So yeah, we'll keep an eye on that. But then there's this other article about Trump's border czar. What's up, buddy?
Oh, hey there.
You going to bed? No. Okay. He just gonna give me a hug, I guess.
Hey, that's cool, dude.
Tom Homan makes a stunning threat to green card holders amid massive immigration crackdown, saying, Tom Homan said that Mahmoud Khalil could be the first of many green card holders to be deported amid his widespread crackdown on legal and illegal immigrants. What?
So is the green card? My thing would be, is the green card holder a convicted of some kind of crime? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it says Trump boasted about the arrest of Khalil earlier Monday, warning it was the first of many to come, even though Khalil is a legal resident who has not been convicted of a crime. Khalil is a Palestinian who was born and raised in Syria, helped to lead protests against Israel at Columbia University last year. He also acted as a negotiator between students and university officials. A judge has since stepped in and temporarily blocked the deportation of the 27-year-old pro-Palestine activist. Homan, who led Trump's agenda, blah, 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 said that it's absolutely we can deport green card holders such as Khalil. And then asking Fox Business, or he was talking to Fox Business, did he violate terms of his visa? Did he violate terms of his residence here? Committing crimes, attacking Israeli students, locking down buildings, destroying property? Absolutely, he told Fox Business. So he's yet to be convicted of a crime, which complicates Homan's assertions. And then, nevertheless, Homan reiterated that Khalil could be the first of many visa holders sent packing. So what do you guys think of this?
I don't know. I'd have to know a lot more about it. So
yeah, if he committed a crime, and that's weird. If you're legally here, you've done the due diligence, you got your green card, right? Mm-hmm. You go through all the proper hoops, and you commit a crime. Does that mean they could just deport you?
Yeah.
I think that's always been a thing.
Okay, that's always been a thing?
I think it's always been a thing. If you commit either a certain type of crime or you break the law and you get arrested, there's a chance they can take your visa away. I think that's always been a thing.
Yeah,
right.
I think it's on case by case basis kind of situation. What did you do? What happened?
For sure.
But yeah, I don't think. Green card is not full citizenship. Am I right?
Yeah.
So it's not like you're an actual citizen and you have the same. Now, without knowing much about this particular case, I find it weird that they would target this particular guy, right? There's probably plenty of people that have criminal backgrounds that have green cards that haven't had anything happen to them. So it makes me wonder, what else is there to the story a little bit? Is there more to this than what he's saying? Maybe the idea of him having protests and leading protests is something that they're nah, fuck off, man. You're, you know what I mean?
Or was he the money guy? You know what I mean?
Well, maybe they just don't want somebody that's going to cause protesting. You know what I mean? Like they just don't want that. I don't know if I agree with that per se, but
Well, I mean, protesting's allowed. You're allowed to protest. I mean,
yeah,
that's
citizens
why
are allowed
we
to
were allowed to
protest.
protest during COVID. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So,
citizens are allowed to protest for sure.
but like, if he was being violent and destroying property, like charge his ass and then deal with him after that. But
Yeah.
this is saying Khalil was detained by ICE officers on Saturday night, who said that they've been given an order to revoke his green card in front of his pregnant wife. They just added that in the article. But a federal judge, Jesse Furman, said from the Southern District of New York, there's that freaking territory again. He poured cold water on Trump's plan. Furman blocked the administration from deporting Khalil until the last of, or at least the next court hearing on next Wednesday. And let's see here. The protests at Columbia were allowed to run rampant for 2 weeks. They were marked by violent assaults and instances of Jewish students being afraid to go to class.
Yeah.
And this is talking about on March 9th in support of President Trump's executive orders prohibiting anti-Semitism and in coordination with the Department of State, blah, 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 blah. They're just, Khalil-led activities aligned to Hamas. And, right. So we'll see.
I'm personally not that upset about it. Like
somebody getting their green card revoked.
I'm not that upset about it. I just here's my thing.
But make sure you do it in front of his pregnant wife.
Well, who wrote that article? First of all, where'd that come from?
This is Daily Mail.
Yeah. So listen, it sounds kind of like a little mini hit piece, a little bit like pulling on the heartstrings, like he had to do it in front of his pregnant wife, and you're like,
well, that was like, that was probably the only bit.
But my thing is,
like what?
Yeah, but I feel like this is going to be played off from some people as like, oh, this is Israel situation. Maybe not. But my thing is like if you're leading protests and there is shit happening because of it, and you're not even a citizen of this country, I could give two fucks. If he's not here, I'm not going to blink my eye. You know what I'm saying? Or miss a blink over it. It's not that big of a deal to me. It's a privilege to be here. So if he was a citizen. Yeah. If he's a citizen, that's what you were just saying, then by all means, you have the right to protest and do whatever you want. Unfortunately or fortunately, when you're here on a green card or whatever,
some kind of work
temporary thing that you're on, you don't have all those same privileges. So I don't feel bad about it.
Yeah, it is one of those weird things. You know, it's like if I were living in Europe or something and I disagreed with something and I was putting together protests.
Yeah.
You would know that that's probably a risk, right?
Like, you would have to know that's a risk.
If you get caught, you're probably going to be bye-bye.
Well, because it looks like you're going over there to stir things up. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that's right or wrong. I'm just saying, like, if you moved to Australia and then had a green card and you were causing protesting, which led to some violence or what you could claim as the violence, they're probably not going to keep you around too long. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Here, I'm gonna send you the link here, Chris. This is another article talking about the actual protests, and there's like pictures and stuff about what happened.
Right here, can a green card be revoked? Right here on the real related facts on the right side, right there.
Are you looking at something up or what?
He's looking at U.S. immigrations. Can a green card be revoked? Green card grants its holder the right to live and work in the United States permanently. However, green cards can be revoked. Immigration fraud, so marriage to a U.S. citizen only to obtain a green card can be revoked because of that. Committing a crime, if the crime is serious enough, it's ground for deportation. Committing fraud, failure to establish a permanent residence or abandonment of permanent residence, failure to advise of a change of address, and so on and so forth.
And that's right off the U.S. immigration website.
So, I mean, it's a matter of, I guess, to Greg's point, what do you consider a crime? You know what I mean?
Well, and that's why
anything
I sent
that
you
breaks
that.
The law.
I sent you that article, Chris, and it shows the anti-Israel protesters at Columbia University. They seized the building, Hamilton Hall, smashing windows, unfurling an Antifada banner, refusing to leave. The occupation came nearly 12 hours after the deadline of 2 p.m. on Monday for protesters to leave. So they had limited access to students residing in residential buildings on campuses. So sounds like it impacted the lives of the students. But you'll see, like, they have all these park bench tied to the doorway, like chairs and shit tied to the doorways.
Yeah.
They smashed some windows with a hammer. But this guy has a mask on. So it's like, who is that? Because we've seen January 6th. They're comparing this to January 6th.
Yeah.
Right? And we know what happened on January 6th, where it's like, you got infiltrated by the government, bro.
Yeah, I mean, listen, it's very possible that this has been infiltrated as well. The problem is that most people don't side with Hamas. You know what I'm saying? Or the whole situation is it's kind of a one-sided thing. So it just looks bad.
Right.
My thing is like, if you're okay, the Capitol. I know this is not completely accurate, but I feel like the Capitol building is our building. You know what I'm saying? As citizens, it's ours. We pay taxes. We own it. It's our government. This was at a university, right? So my thing, and we saw this with Evergreen. Remember, the Weinstein was the situation back then where they tried not allowing people in because they were a certain race. They were trying to block doors and prevent people from getting an education. My thing is, at a university, you got a lot of kids paying a lot of money to go to these things and to learn. You know what I'm saying? And if you're locking doors and not allowing students to get their education, I consider that a crime a little bit. My personal thing, and minor, but I'm just saying, if you're putting park benches to the door and kids are not allowed to go to school and they want to go to school, if our students or our kids had students in class that were disrupting class so much that they couldn't learn, we'd want those kids removed from the class. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I want to know if these were like truly pro-Hamas or if they're pro-Palestine, because it says they were advocating for Palestine, but then the article also says that they're pro-Hamas.
Well,
I don't know. I don't know anything about these people.
Yeah, the problem is that's muddy, because the idea of like pro-Palestine, pro-Hamas, one would argue that it's one and the same. You know what I'm saying? That Hamas is like kind of is running the country. Listen, I don't know, man. I don't want to even venture in it. I've talked about this before, that like the whole Israel-Palestine thing is just not my cup of tea at all. So I don't even want to act like I know. But I do know, if I'm not mistaken, that Hamas is running Palestine. Is that correct?
I don't know. I don't know, like, who. Palestine's not a state. So, like, they want to become a state, but that's not going to happen. So I don't know who's running Palestine.
My understanding, which is could be wrong, is that Hamas has kind of taken over Palestine and is controlling Palestine. Mm-hmm. The issue that we had, especially when we first started talking about it, was these people that were from Palestine, like, they don't seem to really hate Hamas. You know what I'm saying? Like, at least the imagery of it is like, they don't really hate that Hamas is there. Some people say they do. Some people say they don't. So it's like, if you kind of are backing that government, or whatever you want to call it, the Hamas running that particular area, then are you kind of pro-Hamas? You know what I'm saying? In a sense. I don't know.
I looked it up on Grok. I just said, like, does Hamas run Palestine? It says Hamas does not run all of Palestine, but it does govern the Gaza Strip, one of the two main Palestinian territories. So Palestine is not a fully sovereign state and consists of two geographical separate regions, the Gaza Strip and the West Bank. These are areas under different governing authorities due to a complex political history. You could say that, yes.
Yeah. I just think that there's like, there's a lot to that story. You know what I'm saying? And so, as far as the article goes, like, when they talk about if they're pro-Palestine, does that make them automatically pro-Hamas? No, I don't think that makes them automatically like, hey, we like this terrorist organization, Hamas. But it's like, if you are, my issue would be, if you're rooting for Palestine and you know that Palestine is being, at least in large areas, run by Hamas, does that not say that you want that to continue, right? If they were really terrorist groups and people didn't like them there, then why would they not want somebody to take them out so that they could run their country the way they want them to? You know what I mean? Does that make sense?
Yeah, I'm wondering if it's like because like the cartel run specific parts of Mexico, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
And it'd be like, if we were like in a war with Mexico, right? The United States and Mexico, and then people were protesting against the United States for Mexico, but we could just say they're cartel. They're pro-cartel protesters, right?
Yeah.
You know how you could just like twist that in there? So I'm not sure.
Well, here's the
it's
thing, though.
Same type of thing.
But let me put that same question on you, right? So if we ever at some point decided that the cartels were too much, too powerful, it was too dangerous for them to be that close to us, right? And they were really controlling Mexico. And in some form we were asked to go or decided to go into to take out the cartels. If we're taking out cartel and the people don't want us there, then doesn't that say that the people want the cartel there? Because we're there for a specific reason. We're there to take out, this is all hypothetical, obviously, but we're there to take out the cartel. If we're killing the cartel and removing them from society, hypothetically, why would the people not want that? And if they did say, leave our country, we don't want you here, like, what are you doing? Doesn't that kind of say, like, you're okay with all this a little bit?
Because I think at the end of the war, you'd say everybody in Mexico has to leave. Because that's what they're telling everybody in, like, the Palestinian areas, right? They're saying, you guys got to go somewhere. Like, we got to put you... Like, that's what Trump's trying to do. He's trying to negotiate with
only
Saudi Arabia.
the people in the Gaza Strip. He's trying to get those people out so they can, like... Because it's unlivable. They say it's unlivable. Everything's fucking destroyed.
I mean, the pictures I've seen of Gaza Strip is an absolute fucking landfill of fucking debris. So I don't know.
They're not trying to remove everyone from Palestine. It's only the Gaza Strip. They want people out of Gaza. From what I understand.
I just think that the two are so different, right? Like Mexico is Mexico. It's got a long history. It's a giant country. Like when you're talking about Palestine, especially with Israel, Palestine, and the border shifting and that whole thing being controversial, it's not, to me, that's not Mexico. Mexico, it can run itself. It has for a long time. The cartels are coming in and just destroying shit, like absolutely running the show. Why would the Mexican people not want the cartels to leave? Wouldn't their life be better without the cartels? I would say yes, absolutely. If the cartels did not exist, Mexican citizens' lives would be 100% better. The fear would be gone. They could prosper again.
I'm more making it like, the comparison would be you'd be labeling all Mexicans as cartel, right? And that's where I just don't know if we could do that with all Palestinians. You know what I mean? I don't know like what the Palestinian belief is. I'm not even like pro-Palestine. I'm just saying, to be fair, like I don't think I could say all Palestinians are pro-Hamas.
Well,
I just don't know.
I get what you're saying, and I don't disagree with you, man. I do think that there's some differences. I do think that like that is not a very big land area. It is not a significant amount of people. So if you really put that into like, I don't know what it equates to. I don't know what the population is there, but let's just say a major U.S. city, okay? That would be the population of Palestine. Maybe not even a major one. Maybe just like an Austin size. I don't know how many people are there.
Well, let's say Chaz size.
Chaz size.
Chaz.
Yeah, right?
The size of Chaz?
Yeah. But my point is when you talk about like, well, let's say another country saying, well, America is pro-Trump. Well, obviously Trump won. Obviously he has favorable numbers, but the whole country does not support Trump, right? That would be an equation that you're kind of talking about here. But that's like a massive amount of people, right? So that's not that weird. But if you were to say Portland, you would say Portland's pretty much Democratic, right? It's pretty Democratic. I would say overwhelmingly probably Democratic, right? It's not that weird in a smaller number to say that they support Democratic policy. Not that the whole country. Palestine's not that big. So if they're getting ran by Hamas, I mean, how many people really don't support it? I would just argue, or at least throw it out there, that I would bet that maybe more people support Hamas than don't support Hamas there, which is insignificant number-wise. Maybe. I mean, they're running the country. Why were they like? I don't know if they were elected. I don't know who put them in, or if they thought it was a good idea.
Well, Israel propped them up and gave them money and guns. Yeah. So I mean, Israel supported them and made them grow.
Yeah, and we've done that with the cartels.
We've done that with a lot of people.
Yeah, probably. I mean, I think a lot of people do a lot of shit. Germans pay for. I mean, they were just saying that Germany has spent more money buying oil from Russia than they have putting into Ukraine for the war. So the point is like money. It's money. Like that is almost like a. Well, yeah, that's a good point, but money's different. I mean, it's different. Like they're cool with just paying for oil from Russia or gas.
I'm just saying that's where Hamas came from. Like that's why I was just answering the question.
Yeah. No, I get you.
Like I'm not trying to compare it to everybody else.
No, I'm not saying you are
propped up by Israel.
I know. I'm saying it happens all the time. That's what I'm trying to say. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm saying it happens all the time. Like we all do it. Everybody does. Every country does it. They're propping up bad characters for whatever reason. I mean, maybe they want the turmoil. I don't know. I just don't know much about it.
I mean, that's the argument, is that they created Hamas to make this so that way they could get the land. You know what I mean? And so they would allow this kind of Hamas to frickin' pester everybody, right, and grow into this force that would demand attention from the world stage, and that's what it's done now. And now the U.S. is involved. That's why we're sending them billions of dollars of weaponry, right? And that's why, I mean, Trump has basically said, we're going to own Gaza, we're going to send over bulldozers, we're going to clean up all the mines that are still left in the ground. Like, that's why it's all happening. But I don't know if that's true either. But it's just like, if you are Israel and you want to take that land for the longest time, it kind of makes sense. But then you'd have to prove that, dude. You'd have to be like, okay, well, why would Israel like fund and prop up Hamas then? You know, like, why would we prop up ISIS? Why would we like sell guns to the cartel? You know, like Fast and Furious, all that shit, right?
Yeah.
It's just, it's crooked government, period. Like, there's crooked government all over this fucking world. But that's how shit happens is, you know, Dave Smith, I think, said it the best. He's like, you want to know who our enemy is in the future? Look who we're funding right now. And
Ukraine.
that's like true.
Yeah. So you're
You
saying
fund
Ukraine?
somebody, right?
It's turning out that way because didn't they just hack X?
Supposedly.
Dude, they said that Ukraine hacked X.
Yeah, apparently.
Well, Elon Musk
because
came
of
out
an
today.
IP address.
Yeah.
But you know how easy it is to get a VPN.
Yeah. I don't
So
know
I'm just
too much
saying, like, it's fucked up governments, dude. They like to do this shit.
I just think it's easy money. I feel like it's almost a situation where, like, who cares? Sell it to them. Like, what are they going to really do with it, right? Like, oh, we're going to get in these little wars. Like, they're not going to overtake per se, but like, we can still make a ton of cash. You know what I mean? Like, I just feel like that's money's money. Money talks, and so it doesn't really matter at the end of the day who it is. It's like they're getting a paycheck.
Yeah, it's a benefit. I think in the very end, they want the land, because the land you get. I mean, there's a lot of money in the land. You can develop it. You can redevelop it over the years. You can have it as a tourist destination. I mean, you saw Trump's video, right? His Trump Gaza video, the AI one that he promoted.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's literally they're on the beach. I mean, Gaza is a beautiful beach. West Bank, beautiful.
Yeah, but
if it's not blown up.
Yeah.
It's not blown up. Yeah.
But even like, see, I don't understand the end game, because I mean, I'm just throwing it out there. Like, there are people like myself included who's reserved about even going to Mexico, right? Because I don't want to deal with any of the bullshit that, I mean, fuck, wasn't it just like 7 kids that got fucking chopped up over there?
Something like that.
I know that's rare or fairly rare, but my point is like, if Gaza became what he's saying it could be, and maybe it could someday, right? Do people still want to go there? Like, do you really want to go there in the middle of an area where there's just turmoil? All the countries surrounding are kind of problematic in some sense. I don't know.
Are they? I don't think anybody else is causing an issue right now. I mean,
well, right now, but like, this has been hundreds of years of the entire. I mean, I'm just saying that whole Middle East area. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's not like, man, I can't wait to go to the Middle East. You know what I mean? Like, no one says that shit. No one says like, oh, I want to go to Greece and fucking Israel. Or, I mean, I guess some people want to go, but that's mostly because of religious aspects. But like, what's Syria? You know, like, who's just like, I can't wait to go to Syria next year. Like, that's just not a
Libya.
thing. Yeah, or Libya, or fucking Iraq, or fucking Iran. Like, no one's talking about those as destinations. And so
the ultimate vacation spot.
Yeah, just desert beyond desert. You know what I'm saying? And blown up shit from many wars. That sounds horrendous. So I don't know.
Honestly, I think we talked about this on a couple episodes ago. I think those Eastern nations have a lot of fucking money, dude. And they've been propped up in like Western media as really poor, like Kazakhstan.
Oh yeah,
for example.
yeah. We talked about
rich
that.
as fuck, dude.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Oh yeah. Slave of wizard.
I would change my
name. There's a lot of fucking luxury over there, dude. It's weird.
I think there's areas.
There is like, same with what's that one fucking city that is like booming with like architectural Dubai. Yeah. There's
Dubai, yeah.
I've seen several videos where you can't go anywhere in Dubai without seeing anyone driving $100,000+ car.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's a mecca in its own right, and that's all fine. And I'm sure that there are areas that are gorgeous. There's no doubt that there are. But unfortunately, like, it is what it is. Mexico has beautiful areas too. But do you chance it? I don't know. Some people do. You know, if you're not on a resort, like, do you chance it, or do you go there for a week? I don't know. I don't know that there's limiting the amount of people that want to go. Now, if there were no cartels, I mean, think about that. That's why I don't understand why you wouldn't want it. If Mexico had 0 cartels and was eliminated, you had a normal government, people being normal people, people would flock to Mexico for traveling. Like, how easy. You just cross the border. You got these great food, beautiful people, beautiful land. You know what I'm saying? It's a really pretty place. And it's just completely shadowed by this shit that's going on. I don't know that I would say that the Middle East is the same principle. In some aspects, I'm sure. But what you're talking, what was that? Kazakhstan? What was that?
Kazakhstan?
Yeah, Kazakhstan.
Kazakhstan, that's what.
I think, if you want my honest opinion, I think it's the name, bro. You got to change the name. Anything with a stan, you don't really want to go to. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Maybe just change it to like Beautyland or, you know, something cool. Like Georgia, you're like, oh, Georgia, I'd go to Georgia. This sounds like kind of a normal place, right? Because we have the state Georgia. But
Kazakhstan. You hear that, Danielson?
What?
Any stan in your name. Ooh, you got to get it out of there.
Yeah, man. Yeah. I don't know. That's just me being dumb. But I'm just saying, like, if you're kind of lumped into it all, and you're kind of known in that area as these are kind of the problem. Middle East. And we've been hearing that since we were kids, man. The Middle East is problematic, you know? And if you're just ingrained with that, that's not just America. Why would you want to invest there or even go? If it was beautiful, would you even really go there? I don't know. It could be all for nothing, really. Knowing that they could just take it over. What if Iran just decided we're going to go take that shit over? And they just do that. I mean, they arguably could.
There's a huge mall in Iran right here.
Ooh, that's always nice.
Remember how cool Iran used to look? Remember those old photos of westernized Iran with schools and beautiful like grounds and trees and shit? And
right, yeah.
Now it's just what is it about the fucking Europe and some of these areas, Middle East?
That is
and,
some brown area.
That's what I'm talking about,
right,
dude? Go try to find a video of Russia that's not gray. You know what I'm saying? Like, everything's gray. It's like gray everything. It's just so.
I mean, to be fair, this looks like Southern California.
Oh, there's some green.
There is a couple greens. This looks, there is areas of this
or
that
like
look
West
California.
Texas or something.
Nah, definitely not Texas. There's hills. They wouldn't have that.
Right.
You're right on the California part though. Like those kind of like brown hills and like the fucking man. It's a little
like when you fly into LA, it looks just like that.
A little
Chris,
dirty,
like
dude.
It does. That's fucking funny.
I'd argue there's less graffiti, man. What's crazy is there's less homeless. It's kind of weird.
because they'll chop their fucking head off.
No
They'll be like,
shit.
get the fuck out of here.
Huh.
Go, you know what, Chris?
On my wall?
While you're on here, what town is it? What is
this? This is Tehran, the capital of.
Okay, where's the main city at? Where's like the main?
What do you mean? That's Tehran. That's
no, right there. Like just hit a downtown street right there. I want to see just like downtown.
Are we Google Earthing?
Yeah, he's Google Earthing. Just go downtown and hit a spot, and I just want to see it. Do you want to visit this? Okay, like
okay,
not bad.
Okay,
that's not bad. That
Tehran.
That look terrible.
Is that a bomb exploding? No, I'm kidding.
I mean, it's a little sketchy, but it's a little sketchy. I mean, it looked
great.
the other angle. I
it's
thought
not
was,
great.
The other angle was a little bit nicer.
Here, let me move to a different.
That's like down. That's like in your homes. Go to like the main area. Yeah.
There you go. I mean, no.
Very square buildings.
Yeah, that's true.
Maybe we're just not looking at the right spots. We're
well.
Very,
See, there's that thing. Have you ever seen that trend on?
Maybe we're just not looking in the right.
TikTok has it where they'll go like, we're gonna look at like Africa, right? And they Google and they just click on any part of Africa, and they're like, we're gonna look until it's ugly, and so they'll click on a spot, and it's like this beautiful like trees, African, like safari. You're like, oh, this is beautiful, and then they click and it's good. And then all of a sudden, there's like trash heaps and fucking cow shit all over the place. Like that.
Here's another place. It's like a big roundabout.
Ooh, is that two suns up in the sky? Flex.
Yeah,
get on it. Two suns, bro.
They have a minion right there.
Yes, they do.
Yep.
It's what? It's just the architecture of this area is just kind of
old school,
dated.
Right?
It's very dated.
Yeah.
It's not the worst. I mean, it's not the worst.
But it's old school in that kind of part of the world. You know what I mean? If you look at our old school, kind of, we have a version of old school too. You know?
Yeah, for sure. But I don't know. Like, I don't know. You go like the old town, especially here. Like even Washington has some old areas where you go down and it's like really old, and you're like, it's just cool. It has like a cool vibe, kind of like an 1800s vibe, early 1900s vibe. There's some cool architecture. Unfortunately, like all of this stuff that you see in like the Middle East and some even Russia, it's like that 70s vibe. Like they didn't do anything since the 70s, and that was that really like cementy, like not nice windows. Like it's just that
doesn't look the nicest. But hey, you know what?
A lot of white cars. A lot of white cars.
A lot of white
I think
cars,
it's only white cars. Am I wrong?
There is a lot of
takes
white
the heat
cars.
out.
Oh, that's true.
That's probably true.
That's true.
I guess.
Like, gotta stay cool.
Reflects
it's like,
it, you know, less energy.
Or they're just limited on what they have to choose from. You know, like here's your selection. Interesting.
They ran out of paint in Iran.
No, this is the cars that got shipped in. Do they even produce cars there?
Okay.
I don't know. I mean, listen, if I knew that I would be safe, it would be interesting to go to these places and see what's going on. You know what I mean? Like it would be interesting to kind of soak it in and just take in this stuff. But like, it's just not that safe, man. This is a wild setup, dude. It's like a zoo.
This does look like a zoo. Like this whole fucking.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I don't know if it'll ever be fixed. I really don't.
There's some graffiti.
Oh, there is.
Oh shit, you got it. Yep.
Right next to this.
Is that
old,
is that a hut?
That looks like a hut.
It's like an old mine or something.
Is it, or is that like where a dude lives? It's like brick. That's their version of the homeless man.
Maybe it's a water well.
House.
A mountain house. Yeah.
You know, just built into the side of the mountain.
An old cave house. Yeah, I don't know. I don't have a desire to go there though.
I don't either.
Unfortunately.
I've never had a desire to go to the Middle East.
No.
I'd go to Europe. I'd go to China or Japan. I'd go there.
Oh yeah.
Oh
yeah. I do think going to Israel would be interesting.
Yeah.
Because like people say, because it's such a religious spot, that there's something weird that happens.
Yeah.
And not saying like it like makes you more religious. They're just saying like it's a very
it's a hot spot,
like
right?
Like it's a deep place to go, like emotional spot.
Well, you can. I think when you go to certain areas, like you get that feeling from it. You know what I'm saying? And obviously, if the entire country, if you will, is in believing in something and is known for that specifically, right? Like you may get that. It's kind of like I imagine when you went to like a Mayan temple or something. Like you just stand there, you're like, oh man, the amount of shit that happens here, like the pyramids. I would love to see the pyramids just because you're like the history that's right here is insane. Especially the mystery around the history is insane.
Ooh, nice rhyme.
I mean, it was. I had a coworker when I was in Portland who flew by himself to Israel. He was kind of a different dude. He was a very different dude.
I'd never go by myself, dude.
Well, he's that guy. He was a little bit of that guy. He was like, I don't know. He was like 32 or something, and he just was. He was a different kind of cat, man, right? And he's like, I'm going to Israel. I'm like, oh, what are you doing? He's like, just going by myself. I'm like weird.
You're just going.
He said it was very interesting. He's like, they definitely interrogated me a lot when I got there because they're like, what are you doing by yourself? Like, you're flying here, you're by yourself. He kind of had this comb over shaved side head. I mean, he looked like he could have definitely like maybe took out a Jew at some point in his life. But but he was like, I just want to go by myself and just be there for a week and just like soak it in, like not having anybody tell me where we have to go. I'm just gonna go. And he said it was awesome. He's like, dude, it was actually awesome. He's like, it's a really pretty place. The people are very nice. Like, he's like, there's cultural things that you have a hard time getting over, right? Every corner has military. Like, there's people with ARs and shit standing around all the time.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of security. But he's like, as far as like the food and the culture and the people, it was a really cool experience. And I think, I want to say my wife's dad went, dude. I could be wrong, but I feel like maybe he did at some point. But either way, it's unfortunate because there's a lot of negative stuff that obviously about Israel that people talk about, and I think rightfully so in some aspects, and also just the location of it is not ideal. You know, it feels like a chore to go, and that doesn't sound fun to me. But I mean, to go full circle, I think bringing it back, I think that's why they want the land, because they don't want to deal with that shit anymore. And so they're just going to be like, hey, if we get rid of these people, then we won't have anybody to fight against. And then people can come here and we can build a resort.
I'm not saying that that's right at all.
No,
but I'm
I
just
know.
saying that's just what they want to do.
Well, I that's the problem. I don't think taking over the land gets rid of the people they're fighting.
It won't.
Like they've been fighting, like we said, for how long?
Right.
So just because they're not occupying this land, they'll be somewhere else having the same fight.
Well, it's also
or just planning and plotting and then come back and
that's it.
hit you somewhere, right?
It's not just Palestine that does not care for Israel. It's Syria that does not care for Israel. It's a bunch of countries there that don't really give a shit about Israel and don't like the Western influence on Israel. So if it wasn't Palestine's, it would be somebody else at some point that have an issue. So I just don't know that you ever get away from it. You know what I mean?
Right. Well, I mean, to get away from this topic, Chris, I just sent you another article that's talking about JFK and UFOs. Okay. This says bombshell memo claims that JFK probed the CIA to release UFO files 10 days before his assassination.
In the letter, November 12th, 1963, JFK allegedly requested the director of the CIA brief him on all UFO intelligence. The recipient's name was redacted, but John McCone headed the department at the time. So you're thinking it could be that? Is that what this is kind of alluding to?
Well, doesn't it seem weird because, like, we're getting all this talk about UFOs. Like, the UFO shit just isn't going away. It's here to stay.
Yep.
It's going to get bigger. It's going to get amplified at some point. But, like, the JFK files, the Epstein files, everybody's still waiting on those.
Yeah.
Right? We've been, like, where the fuck are they? Not saying that they're like important or like they're going to provide some immediate justice, because to do it right with the Epstein stuff, you do have to charge somebody, bring them to court, find them legally.
Yeah, the whole
guilty,
process. Yeah.
right. Just releasing their name is not going to make that happen. So with the Epstein or with the JFK stuff, I don't know why we're still waiting on that. That should have been out.
The only reason I could
well, maybe a month ago.
I could think that they wouldn't release it is obviously it's going to implicate government agencies, and then people.
But they already know that.
I know they know that, but then they lose all trust. Like the American public loses all trust with those agencies. And can you bring them back, or do you have to just get rid of them altogether?
Have we lost trust in our agencies already?
Yeah.
The general public, I don't know.
I think as a whole, I don't think anybody is.
I think the trust is at an all-time low. I don't know.
I'm gonna ask Grok.
I don't know if people are like. I don't know if the majority of people are saying we just need to fucking axe all these agencies.
I don't know that they would say that they need to be axed, even if it came out that they did this. I don't know that something like this is permanent. Do you get what I'm saying? Even though I feel like they should in a lot of ways, that they're corrupt. But my point is, it's kind of like, if Ford made a bad car for 10 years and killed a lot of people, and then do you argue that their cars cannot ever get better or that they can't make change? Like, they can. You know what I mean? I don't think that it's immediate, like we need to disband the CIA if they're involved.
What if JFK was actually assassinated by the Men in Black?
See, and that's what I'm saying. With this article coming out, you were asking about UFOs? We got to take them out. 10 days.
And it was like
Start the timer.
It was like a culmination of all the different things, like him wanting to get rid of the central banking system, him wanting to expose UFOs, him wanting to go after all this stuff. But it all combines together, and you can't undo one without undoing all.
Well,
God, he was just trying to dismantle the whole fucking web. He's like, dude, this guy is like, gotta go.
I think if you look like at the time of like when this was going down, it does make more sense that in that period of time in the early 60s, right, where sci-fi was erupting, right? Like, obviously none of the Star Wars and stuff were out, but sci-fi was big. Flying cars and the idea of the future and the Jetsons and all this shit. Like, people like space. They like the idea of, like, but you remember the radio show where they did the fake alien invasion and people lost their fucking mind?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so the point is I guess what I'm saying now is people, I think, are now more ready to hear it than ever before. I think they kind of feel like they think that they're there. They feel like they exist and that we deserve to know now at this point, right? But in 63, if they would have came out and said, yeah, aliens do exist, actually, here they are. Roswell's real, this whole shit's real. Would people be more equipped 60 years ago, or whatever it was, to handle that? I don't think so. I don't think so. The hysteria over that radio show was enough to tell you that people would have lost their shit.
Well, so Chris, go to this article, and this talks about a memo. So this whole thing is talking about a memo. Where the memo was featured the classification review of UFO intelligence files affecting national security, along with draft written in pen in the top right corner. There's a picture of the memo too. Yeah. It came during the Cold War and the space race, and 2 months after JFK proposed a joint lunar program with the Soviet Union. The memo states that JFK instructed James Webb, the second administrator of NASA, quote, to develop a program with the Soviet Union in a joint space and lunar exploration. Continuing with the quote, it is important we make clear distinction between the knowns and the unknowns in the event that the Soviets try to make our extended cooperation as a cover for intelligence gather for their defense and space programs.
If this was kept in like a secret fucking space to keep all these fucking files hidden from the public, why does it look like it's been in a fire?
That's what's weird. It says the memo was obtained by Lester, suggested that JFK was on a mission to ensure the nation did not see UFOs as American weaponry. And this Lester guy is... I'm trying to find out who this fucking Lester guy is. Anyway, he's this guy who I apparently has this memo. Okay. But going down to this memo, it does say right here, down at the bottom, a research technician at the JFK Library in Boston, who asked not to be named, told Space.com that he was unable to find a copy in the Presidential Archive, which holds copies of all of JFK's letters.
Yes. So I just saw this clip right here. JFK was known for keeping carbon copies of all letters, but the one Lester published has not been located. It does say something is a little odd about it. Quote, the technician said, it is sanitized in very odd places. The director's name, the top heading of the document, which usually distinguishes which agency is generating it, and the tiny top secret print at the top of the letter. Top secret items are usually fake, stamped in large. Could be. But
it looks fucking fake to me, doesn't it?
Well, it looks like it's over the top.
Why was it burnt?
It's over the top, right? It's like what you would see, like, hey, video game, make a top secret file, and they like, exactly. We got to burn it up a little bit. Looks like it's
from Fallout 4.
Yeah, I know. It's not like a legitimate.
This looks like one of those treasure maps you find in Red Dead Redemption.
No, I feel like these top secret documents would be so crisp because
the X marking the treasure's missing in that one spot.
Like, you would think the shit's been filed away for 60 years, and it would be crisp. Because no one's touching that shit. You know what I'm saying? It's just there. It's clean white paper because it's like, don't touch this cabinet. You know what I'm saying? But who's in there like, oh, Bill dropped his cigarette ashes on it, fucking idiot.
Dude, it says right here, the mysterious document surface. Come here, bud. Oh, no.
My lip.
What'd you do? You bit it? Okay.
Oh, that sucks.
That's the worst.
Come on.
That sucks.
The mysterious document surfaced in 1999, the year of Limp Bizkit, by the way.
Absolutely. Ooh. You're a rock.
By an anonymous source claiming to be a former CIA operative who worked at the agency between 1960 to 1974. And he took this memo. So it's this anonymous source. He claimed that he grabbed it from a fire just as the CIA was burning files.
What?
Well, I mean, listen.
So is this Lester guy part of the CIA then?
So that's
why would he be there while
they were burning? Lester is this. He's like a documentary guy.
Oh,
he wrote a book.
So is the guy that grabbed it from the fire part of the CIA?
The document was obtained by William Lester, who claimed it was released to him under a Freedom of Information Act while researching his 2011 book, A Celebration of Freedom. So he got this in 2011, and now it's just coming to light. 14 years later?
It's really hard because I mean, this
he's
stuff
probably not a best-selling author.
Like, how do you prove it? I mean,
yeah, he's trying to get a little cred,
I just don't know how you prove
don't forget about this memo.
Like, there's nothing on this that's like any like if it had his signature, There's just nothing on here. It's like a piece of paper, man. I mean, I guess you could date it, like, and figure out if the paper is actually an old sheet of paper. You know what I mean?
Like carbon date the paper or something?
Well, you can look at, like, just the way that it was made and see, like, papers are not modern. It's an old piece, but you could easily get an old piece of paper from a fucking antique
Was it
store.
written on parchment?
I don't know.
I want to see it physically
skin?
in real life.
Yeah.
Because just like that electronic document, like we kind of watched this guy break down how Obama's birth certificate, if you put it through a PDF, whatever.
Oh, yeah.
That
you
still
can
makes
take out
no
the layers.
sense.
I
just can't put my head around that one. I'm like,
because it's fake, bro. Obama's birth certificate is fucking fake.
I know, but that's not my point. It's like, my point is like you have it on a website as a photo, but it's also, you can take stuff away that doesn't make sense. It's not like an open edit Excel file. You know what I'm saying? Where it's like you can change.
Well,
it.
it was a link. It wasn't a photo. It was a link you can download.
I understand that.
So they had it uploaded to their
That's what I'm trying to say.
website as a PDF.
Yeah, it's weird. That's just a weird, like, why would you do that if you were faking it? That sounds so stupid, but they are pretty stupid.
Why would you have it available to download? That is weird.
Yeah.
I mean, why would you pay to have mice regendered?
I don't know. Shits and giggles.
Why would you spend money the way they spend money, and they do dumb shit?
They do dumb shit. So you think that he was trying to release aliens? Is that what you think?
That's what this probe was, or this memo.
I know, but
was
I'm asking
saying.
what you think. I think that he
I
might
think this
be.
whole story's. I think this story's fake, bro. I feel like this is bunk.
I don't think that's the reason he was killed. I don't think that. I do think that maybe he was interested in space. He clearly was. Maybe he was interested in UFOs. I don't know. But I don't think he was killed because he was going to release all this information. I'm not sure how much information they would have had back then. Other than Roswell, like, was it real or not?
Dude, I wanna find that WikiLeaks document. There's one that talks about a space camp on the moon, like a moon camp being blown up by. I think they were alluding to like the Russians or something. Like they had this acronym, and they didn't know what it was. They're like, this looks like it might be Russia, but we don't know. But it's this document that talks about in the 1970s or something. We had a base already built on the moon that was destroyed by another entity, government, whatever the fuck it was.
This is weird. That's always Russia, right? It's like always like China has so much more like technology and money and things to do, like that they would love to do shit like this, and it's never China. It's always Russia, like this country that is having a hard time with Ukraine right now. Like they're the ones doing all the bad shit in the world. You know what I mean? I feel like probably China. I'm going to put my money on China. I don't even know anything about it, but I'm going to say China did it, dude. China blew up the moon base. Fuck them. Yeah, man.
It might have been. You never know.
I could see China wanting to like go at it for who gets the moon. You know what I mean? Who lays steak?
Well, did you hear Elon saying that they're planning on launching unmanned stuff to Mars to make sure they can actually land next year?
Yeah, I mean that's
how long is it going to take to get there though?
6 months. Oh,
jinx!
Wow,
give me a Coke.
6 months to get there?
Yeah.
They said
what fuel are they using?
They said that somebody asked him like if right now if we went to Mars how long would it take, and he said 6 months right now.
But apparently
That
the best
seems
time
very short.
The best time with like lunar activity, like the way the planets are and stuff, is like October to December or something. The end of the year.
When's the closest
to go? And he said so it'll be like end of the year next year when they launch to test out their landing capabilities. They said they're sending 5 ships.
Man, can you imagine that shit though, dude? My kids are freaking out when we have to go 30 minutes down the road. Like they're not gonna want to go to fucking Mars.
We'd just be in hypersleep. That's what it'd be.
Sick hypersleep.
We'd get into like these fucking bed things.
Like
and
Passenger,
we just
the movie?
Yeah, we just
I don't know, man.
Self-comatose for 6 months.
I don't know.
Or you're on like a luxury fucking cruise for 6 months.
You can almost get an education.
And then you land on a new planet.
What if they said like, hey, the whole 6 months you're going, you have to like get a degree basically in X, Y, and Z to be on Mars. You know what I mean? So you're just doing school the entire time.
Oh, that'd suck.
I don't know. I mean, what else are you gonna do? I mean, there's only so many episodes.
You're
of
going to fucking Mars, and you're going to be the first people living there. You're going to party.
I don't know, man.
What do you mean you don't know? You don't
Just
think
have some
people are going to be
raves.
crazy excited
Chris
on the way
is like,
there?
wait, how much cargo do you have for beer? That's all I need to know. You know, what I
Like,
mean?
is there any breweries on Mars yet?
It's the new
Right?
hipster spot, dude.
Ooh, what would be the name of it?
Mars Brew.
Brew?
Martian
Mars
Brew?
Brew.
Martian Brew. Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
It's the real Red Rocks.
The
You know what I mean?
Martian IPA or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
All right, man. It's good shit though. I didn't have much else. I know that one guy. I was going to talk about him a little bit. That Carney guy. He was just chosen to take over for Trudeau as the party leader.
Oh yeah.
And he was like, I think he ran like the Bank of Canada.
Yeah, I was talking to Flex about him. He's just as bad, if not worse.
Yeah. Well, the funny thing, I don't know anything about him.
Doesn't he have to be voted in though?
No, it's just for the party.
Oh.
Party leader. But the one thing I did see was he was giving a speech, and I thought it was like weird because didn't he work with Trudeau? I think he worked with Trudeau, if I'm not mistaken. Like either way,
I don't know.
he was talking about carbon tax, and he was like ripping it about like we need to make serious changes. We're going to eliminate the carbon tax, and they showed Trudeau's face, and he's just like, you know, he does this like,
Shit.
well, fuck, you know,
Guess we do have to do that.
the shtick's up. You know what I mean? All right, man. Well, shit. We'll wrap it up with that.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, brothers.
Wednesday.
Yeah, we'll be back
Yeah.
Wednesday, guys. Join us live on YouTube.
Yeah, somebody said there's getting ads on live now. What's going on with that shit?
I know. I
Weird.
was watching here and I'm getting ads on live. So it's weird.
Damn. Okay. They better
They're
pay us
desperate
for that shit.
money.
They are.
Greg's, cheers to you, my friend.
Cheers, brothers.
Happy 40th. Wish I could have
yeah.
a beer with you, but soon, I'm sure.
Very soon.
All right, later, guys.
See you guys.
Peace.